Irashaimase. Hello and welcome to Fataris' Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fataris. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and on the menu this week we have my top 5 new Shoot 'em Ups of 2023. What kind of taste will they have? Let's get cooking and find out. For the final Shoot 'em Up Saturday of 2023, I wanted to do something a little different this year. I'm taking a look back and picking my top 5 favorite shoot 'em ups that released in the year 2023. So this doesn't necessarily include remakes or re-releases of titles that have previously come out, but rather new titles that released in the year 2023. This is definitely not a definitive list. It's my own opinion, and there were plenty of shoot 'em ups in 2023 I didn't have the opportunity to play. So if you've got some top shoot 'em ups for the year, please leave those in the comments below. I'd love to read them. As far as the order for this list, I'm going by release date, so they're not in any particular order as far as which ones I feel are the best. With that said, let's dive into the first title. From developer Bikuri Software, Grave Counter GM released early in the year. Honestly, if I did have to pick a title for favorite shoot 'em up of the year, this one might be it. It's a bullet hell vertical scroller with some really awesome mechanics that just make this stand above all others. The whole point of the game is you've got this graze mechanic where you graze bullets, so get as close to them as possible to build a meter, and then once you have that meter built up, you can go and use it as a counter, which goes and builds another meter, which then allows you to go and deal even more damage to build up even more points, and the whole thing is just a really satisfying experience. Everything just feels so satisfying with this gameplay. In addition to that, this one is by far the title on this list that has the most game to it. There's more gameplay there. You have a total of 16 characters you can choose from. There's additional game modes that will add quite a bit of playtime to the game itself, and it has a great price point as well. Really, this is a shoot 'em up that I just can't recommend enough. If you're a fan of the genre at all, this is one that I really encourage you seek out and play, as it really has been one of those titles that has just remained with me the entire year. So, for our first entry, Grave Counter GM. Releasing in February from legendary developer Llamasoft, Aka R is definitely this list's most psychedelic entry. So the idea here is that this title is a throwback to the early days of the arcades. So it's a lost prototype from Atari that was completed by Llamasoft, specifically the developer Jeff Minter. So if you're familiar with his previous works, titles like the Tempest 2000, or more recently titles like Polybius, you have an idea of what to expect here. Gameplay wise, you control a turret in the middle of the screen, defending yourself from all sorts of bizarre shapes that are the enemies that are trying to attack you. And throughout the course of the gameplay, it's all combo based, where you're ultimately trying to set off these awesome chains that just result in this crazy mix of sounds and shapes, and the whole thing is just an experience where you just have to be in the right mindset to just like sit down and just become one with the experience. This one isn't a title for everyone, but it is one of those experiences that I really cherished from this year. Next we have Igni Grow from developer Martin Mauersix. This title has to be one of the most innovative and unique shoot 'em ups I've had the opportunity to play. Basically, what's going on here is we've got all these stages that are broken down or represented by different colors. And within those individual stages, we have these sections which take a concept and give it design. So you've got all these different ideas being floated around in this shoot 'em up that just makes it feel so innovative, fresh, and unique. So to give you an idea of some of those ideas, you might have a stage where the walls are covered in spikes and they're pressing you around, or we're on some sort of track trying to shoot enemies while moving around in a really fixed space. There's also some really unique boss fights where sometimes we're shooting this one in space, and it's taken all the concepts from the stage itself. So for the space one, for example, we're seeing all sorts of things like it controlling gravity or the direction that we can even shoot, slowing down time, all of that in this really great experience. There's also some great video game homage here with this boss that is kind of like this Pac-Man theme, where we're not Pac-Man, we're the ghosts. Anyway, this is definitely a title that is not the most visually stunning of any shoot 'em up that would you could potentially come across, but as far as the sheer innovation, this is a title that if you like shoot 'em ups at all, I highly encourage you to check this one out. From developer Kimono Games, next we have Proto Corgi. Out of all the titles on this list, this was probably the one that I'd been anticipating the longest. I'd been following this one for years before its release, and when it finally did release, it did not disappoint. So this is basically a horizontal scrolling cute 'em up where you play this cute cybernetic corgi, and the presentation is really spot on as well. You have all these wonderfully handcrafted stages that are full of bright, vibrant colors and excellent music just helping tie together everything. The gameplay is really spot on and tight as well. You have a lot of options as far as your weaponry is concerned. And there's even this fun little bark mechanic where if you're not using the rapid fire but rather like tapping the fire, you'll actually be spelling out the word bark with your shots. It's something that's fun, if a little bit unnecessary. And in addition to the great the design that the stages have, they're actually full of the kind of thing that I miss seeing in a lot of games. So there are going to be hidden paths throughout the course of your gameplay. Most of the stages will have an alternate path you can go through to unlock secrets, and just having that in this kind of a game really sets it apart as something special. In addition to that, it's ridiculously cheap. If you like horizontal scrolling shoot 'em ups at all, or are a fan of cute games, this one should be in your library, whether it be on the PC via Steam or on the Nintendo Switch. In September, we got one of my biggest surprises of the year, Final Serion, from publisher City Connection. So what's going on here is City Connection's basically developing a new series, this final series that takes classic arcade titles, in this case Jaleco's 1983 Serion, and develops them into a new title. So this one has some of the feel of the original Serion, but it's its entirely own game, and the mechanics here and just the visual look of this game is what went and sold me on it. So from a graphics perspective, this looks like something out of the 16-bit era, where we have this awesome scrolling background that gives us this feeling of momentum. As far as the gameplay itself, initially it kind of feels sluggish and floaty until you start to learn the mechanics of the gameplay itself, based all around this awesome cell system that they developed in the game. Basically, you have this special sub-weapon that's equipped, and you can use the charges that are in it, but once it's used up, or if you've managed to earn another cell charge, you can purge that, and then you summon another special weapon to go and take its place. That weapon's going to be random, and there's also a really neat element of suspense where you have a brief period of time where that new cell hasn't arrived, but when it does, you basically get this awesome explosion effect and a new special weapon. That really goes and sells me on the gameplay itself, as it's this whole risk-reward kind of scenario where you're putting yourself in a vulnerable state to get a new weapon. Once that new weapon shows up, it goes and acts as both screen clearing bomb as well as some additional firepower for you to use. The stages themselves just come across as beautiful, and the game actually has a lot of stages to it. 13 stages. It does use a checkpoint system, so not necessarily my favorite there, but they're usually placed in forgiving enough locations that you can still make it through the game without too much difficulty. So hopefully we'll see some more awesome innovation from this final series that City Connection is working on. But if you haven't had the chance to check out Final Serion, then I do recommend you at least have a look at it, as it was one that I really had fun sitting down and just diving into. And there you have it, my top 5 shoot 'em ups of 2023. But I do have a bonus title for you. Drainus from Team Ladybug. This title originally released for the PC in May of 2022. It would see release on the Nintendo Switch in February of 2023, and that's when I first experienced it. I couldn't make a top shoot 'em ups list of 2023 without including this one, so here we have it. As far as the gameplay, this is a horizontal scroller with amazing graphics, great systems, and incredible gameplay. If you're looking for something like, say, Gradius, but with more customization and some deep defensive systems, then this is one that I really think you should try. There is a demo available on Steam, so that's a great way to experience the game if you're not sure about it. But really, if you like shoot 'em ups, then this is one that I think you'll be very satisfied with. And there we have it, Chef Vitaris' top 5 shoot 'em ups, plus a bonus of 2023 served up for your enjoyment. As I mentioned in the beginning, I'd love to hear what your top shoot 'em ups of this year were as well, so please leave those in the comments below. I'm sure there's some that I missed that I would love to have the opportunity to play. With all that said, that brings us to the end of the video. Before I go, I do want to say a couple quick things. If you had enjoyed my content this year or in the previous past, I would love it if you were to subscribe to this channel. We're entering our 10th year of Shoot 'em Up Saturdays, and I would love for the support and for you to continue to join me on this journey. With that said, I want to wish you a happy new year. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.